I just finished my month in Thailand and I wanted to talk about what I achieved and where I am now. So, basically, during the month when I was in Thailand, I spent a lot of time with a girl that I met within the first couple of days there. And we just spent a lot of time together going to the most famous sort of tourist spot in active nightlife is Khao San Road in Bangkok. So we went there. We went to a few different markets, like night markets, weekend markets. We went to Chinatown, grabbed some noodles. Yeah, basically also just hung out by my condo and went to the mall a lot, things like that. So that was a lot of my time. A lot of my time was also the final stages of the interviews that I had done previously with those two companies I mentioned, where I did videos in the offer. So I actually just spoke with the CEO recently of the firm that I received an offer for. And then he was like, "Oh, we'll get back to you later today on if you're gonna have an offer." And I was like, "The headhunter told me that you guys were already planning on giving me an offer." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, maybe there was miscommunication." And he said, "I need to go to the board, so I just want to make sure everything's official." But I feel good. He did ask me about, like, why do you want to join this firm? And that answer, I don't think I illustrated as much passion as he would want, which was sort of the truth because the way that he's been acting has been very unprofessional with scheduling and talking over the phone. And he would even ask me questions like, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend?" Things like this. It was because his girlfriend called him and he had to delay our call for a bit. But either way, it's a guy who's never actually held a corporate job. So I'm going to do videos, or I've done videos on how to be corporate and talk their language. And this guy's the opposite of that. So it's very interesting, but yeah, not really much time working. I didn't do any coding. I just spent a lot of time just trying to clear my emails and unsubscribe from a bunch of things, delete my like things in my inbox, unsubscribe from things. So that way I can just start with a fresh slate and go from there. I did a few videos, of course, like 10 videos, and I've been writing more scripts for future videos too. I also finally went to the doctor to see about what I believe is like a deviated septum, which it is. So I couldn't get it done there because I wouldn't be able to fly within a month of getting the surgery. So I can do a video on my health later. But basically, th those were some of the main takeaways, the things that I did when I was there. Yeah, it wasn't super productive, but I was going to the gym every day. And I did two Muay Thai sessions, one boxing and one Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So really not as much as I should have, but with seeing my girl, spending time in the cafe on my laptop, and actually working out too, trying to be in a caloric surplus, which I don't know if I achieved that, to be honest, but I was trying to eat a lot, and that takes a lot of time too. Trying to read 10 pages of my book every day at least. Then also treat my eye because I'm recovering from a sty. It's like a eye infection where I need to, boil water, put it on my eye. I'm taking pills for that too. And basically now I'm also taking pills to clear up my sinuses, like three a day for that. Also do the nose spray. Then I take vitamins as well. And each of these pills you're supposed to like not couple with the other pills and not couple with vitamins. So it's supposed to be like different meals, 2 hours apart, etc. Just constantly every few hours eating too, which sounds like a big excuse, but it's just the way it is. Also spend just a lot of time sleeping, 10, 11 hours a day. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Try and go to sleep early tonight and wake up around sunrise, see how that works. Try and do that for the remainder of my trip here now, which brings me to where I am now, which is Vietnam. So when I arrived, first of all, the Bangkok airport leaving, I thought was very efficient. Checking bags took literally less than a minute, which is the most impressive part. Security as well was pretty quick. It did take a while to get through passport controls. There's a guy wearing his, most of the people were just dressed normally, but the guy that I was at the booth in line for, he had a fancy high outfit with gold medals, military type stuff, so he definitely took his job too seriously, and it took a while. And then I had to take a shuttle and walk across. So overall, I got to the airport around maybe 6, and I was at my terminal by 7, so still only an hour. Same thing in Vietnam, where, well, not same thing. Vietnam, there was a huge line for immigration, very fast for just getting off the plane. And once I got through immigration, it was quick, picked up my luggage immediately, walked out. super easy, super nice weather, very comfortable, so much vegetation and it's sunny and the vegetation's so green and nice, clean airport and architecture with the bridge, like the street above for the departures, I believe. It's just a very beautiful place. Taxi driver was nice. He tried talking to me despite not speaking English.
Are you going to visit any tourist attractions tomorrow?
Maybe Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Just using Translate, and I read about some of the tourist stuff that, oh, have the taxi driver's phone number to call them because it can be difficult to find a nearby driver when you've gone to this faraway place. And that my Grab driver, I use Grab. It's like the Uber out here in Southeast Asia. You can use that in Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, etc., Indonesia. And you can also go out on the bikes too. So it's actually people in the US don't do this, but you can actually
Friday.
just order. It's a lot cheaper
Yeah.
too, and it's more fun. You just order a bike and you just hop onto the back of a moped or something like that. Obviously, I didn't do that with my luggage today, but the taxi driver anyway, he was saying, "Here, take down my WhatsApp. If you need to go out to this place like this mountain, let me know." So, very kind. Buildings here in the city, I'm in Da Nang to be specific, and pretty short buildings, pretty packed real estate. Things are very close quarters. Yeah, even this place, I close my blinds because I can see the next building over. If I reach my hand out the window, I can just touch it. And when I walked into my room, there's just like a lady there that could just see right into my room. And it was just awkward. When I was looking at on Google Maps, I was like, why is there so many hotels here? All there is here is hotels. And I was like, it's crazy. And it's very cheap too, like $11. It was more
Uh,
expensive when I was in the Philippines. And
well,
I would assume it's more expensive in Thailand too.
I have
Thailand's
no
very luxurious.
idea.
So I would
Cause
say they do good marketing of these places.
I'm
They're
not sure
fine
the
though.
name
Yeah,
of
they're
where I
good.
go.
Pictures look a little bit better, but overall, yeah, looks like there's a decent amount of cafes. So it's commercial enough, not as much as Thailand. It's very luxurious there. And first impression, I went to got a banh mi that was pork. The worker there seemed very rude. She hated her job, and she would say like when someone walked in, "Hi," blah, blah, blah. But it was like very much like, "Oh, I have to say this," and I'm just saying this in a very fast way, like, "Come on, hurry up." I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'll keep my mind open to how other people are, but that was first impression from the first worker. Banh mi, the bread was obviously parts of it were stale, parts of the inside were pretty moist and like easy to chew, you could say. But that's what it is. Like a lot of people over my thoughts when I was eating was people just like to romanticize foods from other countries, but a lot of them is just like poor countries, and poor countries often have just crappy food, to be frank. I even say this about New York. Like New York, their food is bagels, and I'm like, why do you want stale bread? Come on now. And honestly, that's what banh mi's are. And don't get me wrong, I like banh mi's. They're like Vietnamese sandwiches for those who don't know. And yeah, they taste good and they're cheap, so I love it. But at the end of the day, don't try and overhype it. The quality of American food is definitely higher than a banh mi, which is literally using stale bread to make a sandwich and then throwing in a few pieces of meat, cucumbers, and some lettuce or something. So, but still good. It could even be healthier than a lot of American food if it's processed or cooked with seed oils or whatever it may be. If there's a lot of estrogen mimic chemicals from pesticides or whatever it is. But either way, I just wanted to debunk the sort of romanticization of a lot of things in foreign countries, right? This is especially true in China. China is very proud of their food, but in reality, a lot of it was like built out of being a poor nation for a long period, having great famine, etc. Yeah, basically a lot of their food is just like could be 90% rice and really strong sauce because to make it bearable to eat and a really fatty meat that's 10% of the mass of the meal and then some wet cabbage. It gets better. Like when I was in China 2019, the tomato and egg soup was like okay. I mean, I was having it in school cantina, but now when I went to nicer restaurants, they can do it and it makes it taste a lot better. So that's true everywhere. Like Ireland too, years ago, the food was really bad. The UK is known for bad food, and the UK basically said to Ireland, you can only grow potatoes. So their dishes weren't too great, but they've become a lot more advanced in the culinary aspects in the past decade or so, where they take their current dishes and just make them in a lot higher quality ways, and just the culinary culture has expanded there. So that can happen anywhere. But yeah, I wanted to give my initial thoughts on what was going through my head as I was going through the airport and arriving in a new country and give you an update on how my time had been in Thailand. But yeah, I'll probably Thailand has too much real estate, residential real estate, but I would love to live there, so I might buy a condo. I might buy one in Manila too because it seems more lucrative from a returns perspective and more reliable from rental income. But I'll keep you guys updated. I wouldn't buy one here unless it's just to live once I'm rich enough because it's so cheap to even stay at hotels here, and there's so many hotels. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't be competitive from a rental standpoint. But of course, I'll need to look at the real estate prices to see if, from a percentage basis, if it would be good. But it seems like there's oversupply. I would doubt that the rental income would be good, but maybe oversupplied means also the prices are sufficiently lower. So. I'll keep you guys updated on if I would be interested, but overall, definitely would love to own a place in Philippines, a few places there, a few places in Thailand in the future too. And I'll keep you guys updated on how Vietnam is, but I'll mostly just be working here probably. Running on the beach, going to the gym, working on my laptop, going to a cafe, and that's it. Gonna try not to do much else. Maybe just on the weekend, I might do 2 or 3 days of vacation stuff here, but they have the big sort of hiking where on the top of the mountain there's a walkway and there's like a statue of two arms holding it. So I'll probably go to that. I've always thought that looked cool, but maybe go on a boat ride or something or jet skiing, but not much else. I'll try and run on the beach with a weighted vest, maybe even a face mask too. But yeah, that's my plan for my time here. Yeah. So make sure if you're interested in following along, hit the subscribe, hit the like button. I know this is like a lower pace video with not as much focus, but just wanted to air out my first day here because there's a lot of ideas flowing usually when you first arrive in a country.